Hi friends, welcome back. Next is our behind the scenes for Amber-LeeLyons. Today we are like really freaking raw and real here. I keep having a coughing attack every time I try to record this. I am wearing green leggings. I'm actually wearing a fanny pack, still wearing a fanny pack from when I walked Rango, and I figure I'll just leave it on because I'm gonna have to walk him again soon. Amber-LeeLyons had me on her amazing top-rated podcast, Shocker Girl Radio, and we laughed so hard. And what I love about Amber-Lee is she's so unapologetic about who she is. We did an exercise where we were talking about manifestation, and she told me she manifested new lip injections, and I thought, damn, she is brave, because this spiritual community can be judgmental, and I really want to get away from that judgment. Amber-Lee is so purely herself, and it is beautiful. She's a phenomenal coach. She is crystal clear about what her message is and who her demographic is. And like she says in the podcast, she's like, I am the entry point for these women who, if I have a meditation about let's manifest a designer bag, that's their entry point on starting to meditate, to figure out who they are, right? If she had meditate to find your inner guru, those women might not be interested in her material. So Amber-LeeLyons is the shit, and we had a blast on this podcast. When we get together, it's like we come together and we both lift each other up and we turn into like giggling fools. But I hope you enjoy this. And I would love to hear your thoughts and your comments. And thank you so much for being a part of this community. The point is that we can digest the information together. So when you do have comments and thoughts, like, let me know. And if you have a question, I'll ask Amber, or I'll bring her over to chat about it. Also, in the middle, you'll see that she had a visitor come in, and I promise to keep these videos uncut and raw and real. So welcome to the behind the scenes of what it actually looks like to film a podcast. There are so many things that I cut out once we get to the actual audio, and you just get to see them all when you watch the video. So I love you. Thanks for being here. We are not striving for perfection. We are striving to be excellent examples of being human, and you are fucking doing it, and you're rocking it, and I love you. Okay. Friends, welcome back to the pod. Today we have Amber-LeeLyons. So Amber-Lee, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Me too. I had so much freaking fun on your podcast, and I have to tell you that you gave me permission, so much more permission to be myself on my podcast. Like I had to investigate. Yes. So you've made such a lasting impression on me.
I feel like you actually made me like amp up my vibes a little bit too. I feel like you know how to party on the podcast, and it just
sometimes I don't.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like sometimes you kind of like, I don't know. It's like you really have to be in the mood. Like you have to be in the space. So even just giving yourself like that extra minute before you record or before you step into your day or like go to work or have that conversation, whatever it is, like giving yourself that like split second to be like, I want to be the Tori Doob energy.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But also just a testament to like when powerful, passionate beings like come together.
Yeah.
Extra magic happens. Like
right?
We're even greater than the sum of our parts.
Yes. You and me together, babe.
You got it. And it's like, the more we dig into that, it's going to be hilarious, like how different we are too. But I freaking adore you. I love you so much.
Love you too.
So our message here on the pod is about establishing the inner validation so we can finally accept ourselves, move through life with confidence, grace, authenticity. And like the trick is, like the catch is, like when you finally figure this shit out, your outside reality shifts to meet you there.
Yeah.
And your story is just the most literal example of that. So can you tell us like how you came to be Shocker Girl? Like how the heck did this happen?
Yeah. So let's go way back. Okay. So I was in fashion school, and I thought that was like my purpose. I thought I was meant to be this fashionista that was, you know, I don't tell most people this. I actually had my first ever blog. Me and my girlfriend would take pictures of people in the streets and then make fun of their outfits.
Oh no.
I know. People liked it. However, not in alignment with my true self, and it didn't feel good. Harsh, mean girl. I'm a reformed mean girl, and I can own that. But anyway, so basically so that's where I was. That gives you a nice snapshot of where I was internally as well. Like mean as I was to those other people, I was even meaner to myself. And I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I was like going out all the time, partying, like feeling like shit, like not knowing what I wanted to do with my life. And I was like gaining weight because like my physical body was not in alignment with what I was supposed to be doing. So friends said, oh, go to yoga. You'll lose 5 pounds in 2 weeks. Go do hot yoga. I'm like, okay. So I was like, done. So I went, hair extensions, full makeup on the yoga mat. And it just changed me. And it really made me realize like my own tendencies. And I ended up doing, I remember I arrived late for a yoga class and they were like, oh, like this session, you can't go in, like you're late, but there's a meditation class. Do you want to take that? I was like, okay. And I was like, well, that's not going to make me lose weight, but whatever, I'll do it. I'm here. And so I was in there and I realized, I was like looking around at everyone and being like, I'm the only one that is like swallowing every 5 seconds. I was like, literally had a lump in my throat. And I was like looking around being like, am I the only psycho in here that can't calm down? And like, for some reason I had to like swallow every 5 seconds. And so I talked to the teacher about it after. I was like, what does that mean? Like, why would that happen? She's like, oh, have you ever heard of chakras? Or have you ever like looked into the chakras? And I was like, well, I've heard it, but like, I haven't looked into it. So I went on this deep dive of chakras, like just Googling everything. And I came across like all this knowledge on crystals. And I was like, oh, cool. Like these are beautiful. And I found myself being like really drawn to them. Like I couldn't ignore it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to go get some crystals. And I literally slept with an aquamarine crystal on my throat for 2 weeks and it was gone. Like that lump was gone. Everything was gone. I felt like I could speak more clearly. And the thing with the throat chakra too, is that it's about like living your authentic true self. So it's about your communication and your ability to like stay calm, and that allows you to be like your true authentic self and live up to your true potential. So once I unblocked that, all of these ideas started coming to me and I started realizing like, oh yeah, like I am capable of more. Sorry.
No, we're totally fine. We're good.
My microphone keeps switching in and out. So I was like, I am capable of more. And I knew that I was meant for more. So I was like, I meant to share this. I meant to share this with the girl who has no idea what this is. I meant to share this with the girl who's out at nightclubs and feels like shit in the morning. I meant to share this with the girl who's like wearing makeup at yoga. And I just knew that that was kind of those girls needed me. And I started so I knew that I needed to start a business. I wanted to start a chakra jewelry line. So I was making these chakra bracelets with different crystals for different chakras. And it took me like 3 years to finally get it off the ground because I was going through my own chakra journey. And through that, like one day I just kind of like woke up. I got the support that I needed. And I realized that as I was going through building this business, it was requiring me to tap into each chakra in the sequence of the chakras. So it was like when I was first starting, I needed to tap into my root chakra energy for like that strong foundation of my business and like the core elements of the business, like the mission and all that kind of stuff, and to get into forward momentum. And that's what the root chakra is. And then once the sacral chakra is about like your visual brand and all those things, and you need your creativity in your sacral chakra. So I was like realizing like, it was just so crazy. It kind of blew my mind that like the same order of the steps I needed to take were the same energies I needed to tap into. And I was like, oh, this is something. So I was having people reach out to me about my business and asking me, oh, how did you start your business? I was like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to be helping people with that instead, helping people tap into their chakras to start a business. So then I flipped it to that.
Hell yes.
That's my long-winded story.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for you, like in your personal life, I know you're married. I know you live in a beautiful home. Like you were super fucking happy. Was your reality in that department of your life also
no.
shifting throughout this? Oh, it was not there yet.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, it was not like, well, yeah, so that's the thing. Like it was not, my life did not look like this before I started this journey. It was like in a job I hated, paycheck to paycheck. And just like you were saying, like once I shifted that energetic, that energy inside, then that's when things started to fall into place. You know, you meet the guy, you know, that helps you, you know, and it's not always rosy. It makes you see sides of yourself you don't like. It makes you like change yourself as well. My financial situation changed, my health, my relationship with my body. It all evolved slowly, but it's like it took work, and it wasn't always shiny, but at the same time it did feel like it fell into place. Like as much as I say like it was a lot of work, but I still feel like everything actually fell into place in a way that I couldn't have imagined.
Or like have orchestrated yourself either. You had to just surrender something bigger.
Yeah. And I remember when I was feeling blocked and just feeling so overwhelmed and being like, but all areas of my life need to change. This is going to take me forever. This is going to be so hard. Like, where do I start? But it's like, you can't look at it that way. Like you have to literally just like start here.
Yes, absolutely. And so for the people who can't see you, you just pointed to your soul, essentially.
Internally, yeah.
So through that story, I just hear this like courageous willingness. Was it like a booming voice in your head, like you got to do this? Or were they just like little whispers that you just followed and trusted and followed?
I think it was like, it was definitely more of like an up and down situation, a manic growth, where so like those 3 years where I was trying to do it on my own, like without any help, was like very manic. And then once I hired a business coach, and that's when everything literally fell into place, and everything started to change, and I started to work on my chakras more. But yeah, it really was this kind of thing inside of me that said, you're meant for more. And that has just kind of driven me ever since.
So what are your personal rituals that allow you to continue to allow that voice to be robust?
Yeah. So I do lots of things. So number one, visualization is like the key for me. I think of what I want, and I like see it, feel it, live it. And then it comes like all the time. Like I have the craziest manifesting stories, but in terms of like my daily practice, I like to do like mind, body, soul, and energy. So for my mind, I do either like some kind of mantras, or I listen to like Abraham Hicks, or
my fave.
Obsessed. And I do some journaling, and basically in my journaling, I'm writing down the things I want, or I'm like focusing on the things I want, but also being, if I'm like feeling, you know, if I'm not that day, then I'll just be real with myself and write down how I really feel, and like try and process the feelings as well. So that's for the mind. For the body, I work out a lot just to like move the energy. I feel like that's such an important part. So I move the energy, and if not, I'll do some kind of stretching. And depending on what chakra I'm working on, like say I'm working on the sacral chakra, I'll stretch my hips. If I'm working on the heart chakra, I'll stretch my chest, and just like inviting energy into that area. And then for the, and then also the foods you eat, like different foods for different chakras, root vegetables for the root chakra, pink foods for the heart chakra. Like it's actually maybe placebo, but I totally buy it.
It's the buy-in. Yes.
It's totally
buy-in at 100%. Yeah. It's the buy-in.
Totally. It's the buy-in. And, so mind, body, soul meditation, obviously. So different chakra meditations or Kundalini meditations. And then for the energy is the visualizing. And the visualizing kind of like wraps everything together and is really like the vehicle for manifesting.
Love it. Okay. Can we fine tune the visualization process for people? Because I have a lot of clients who say, okay, I made a vision board and I'm thinking about the shit I want, but I'm so stuck on, I don't have it, and the anxiety that I feel around not having it. Can you help us understand how to make visualization work for us?
Yeah. So I actually have like a seven manifesting process. So I think the first few steps are about visualization. So I'll just go through those. But the first one is clarity. So you have to be so clear on what it is that you want, because the thing that So if you're trying to visualize what you want and you're getting pulled out of it thinking I can't have this or this isn't for me, that is fear speaking. So what you need to first do is you need to like get uber clear on what you want. Like go on the, like this insane brainstorming session, asking yourself 29 questions of like, okay, what do I want it to look like? What will that look like for me? What will that look like for my family? You know, how much money will that mean I have to make? How do I want to make that money? What's going to feel good? You know, and just literally like asking all the questions. What am I going to wear? Where am I going to live? Like just getting so precise about it. And then through that, and then you're going to be picturing it, you're visualizing it. And then you're going to be tapping into your intuition to be like, is this actually what I want? And some of those things might shift because if you're like, oh, I want to make $1 million, but then you look at what you're going to have to do to make $1 million, you're like, maybe it's not that important. Or you're like, actually, I just realized I did all the math of the things I want and I only need $500,000. So let's stick to that. So getting really clear on that. And then the next step is really looking at the fears. So, okay, I picture this. What are the things that pop up? Like, what are the things that
Amber, will you start that sentence again? No, you're totally fine. I can edit anything. So if it ever just cuts out, you can just restart and I'll just edit it.
Yeah, it just keeps saying like, oh, now we're using this audio. Now we're using this audio. So just keep telling me.
Okay.
Because I don't know. Okay. So trying to think of what I was saying. Okay.
So now you need to look at the fears.
Yeah. So you need to look at the fears and you need to you'll know what they are. And there's like the 4 fundamental fears. Have you ever read The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks?
I have not.
Okay.
Highly recommended.
So good. It is so good. It's about self-sabotage. And basically says like there are 4 fundamental fears and any fear that you have kind of breaks down into one of these 4 things. So one of them is fear of being fundamentally flawed, like just actually thinking I'm not good enough at this. One of them is fear of failing. And that usually comes from having failed before or having seen someone fail and just thinking that success actually isn't possible. Another one is basically thinking that rich people are assholes and being afraid of being rich, thinking that you're going to lose everyone in your life. And that happens from, you know, growing up watching Scrooge McDuck and all the movies with all the like jerk rich people. And also just when you're so angry about something you want, you sometimes pretend you don't want it. If you want to be rich so bad, and then you're like, oh, well, rich people are jerks anyways, kind of thing. So there's that one. And then the last one is fear of outshining, super common for people with siblings, not wanting to outshine people, not wanting to make other people feel comfortable, and also feeling like it's other people's problems are your responsibility and you don't want to make them feel worse. So those are kind of the main fears. So if you can like look at everything that's coming up for you, like if you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm pretty enough or skinny enough or ready enough or smart enough, then that's probably fear of being fundamentally flawed. And it's like, once you kind of pull it down to that and you like break it down and you're like, oh, that's just one of those 4 things that everyone has. So it's not actually real.
Yes.
And so and then you just add humor to it. Cause I was like, I remember the first time I read the book, I'm like, he's telling us like what the fears are, but he's not telling us how to get rid of them. But it's like, all you need to do is have the awareness to be like, oh, that's what it is. That's not real. That's not actually going to happen. I'm not actually going to fail. Sorry. It's just one of those fears that are coming in. So once you can get clear on that and get real with it, you can like rewrite the belief or like rewrite the story. And yeah, it's just, and then once you can say goodbye to those fears, you can start to see the thing you want even more clear and add more energetic weight to it without the fear coming in and telling you, okay, maybe you don't want this. So that's the key.
Huge.
That's like
wow.
Secret sauce. Yeah.
Wow, that was huge. Okay, and I'm going to link The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, right? Yes.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to read that.
Yes.
Damn, that was awesome. Okay, so yes, there's no room for fear in visualization and in manifestation alone.
Yeah, exactly.
And the extra bonus, or rather the whole purpose of all of it, is you feel really happy and excited and you feel rooted and grounded and clear, and that's really all we're seeking.
Totally. It's like, I am like a high on visualizing. Like
Mhm.
I am like, I get so high. It's like, it's almost like I can feel it I can literally feel this, like having that life. I can feel it in my
Mhm.
body. It's
And
like I
that's why
can
you get
literally
it.
feel it like in my solar plexus.
Mhm.
And it's like really magical.
I love how just unapologetic you are about the things that you want to manifest. On
Yeah.
our podcast, you said
Yeah.
that you manifested lip injections.
Yes.
Have you ever felt a disconnect or like you weren't like welcome in the spirituality message? Because
Totally. Yeah.
yes, can you speak to that?
100%. Like I said, when I was going to yoga and I was like wearing makeup and hair extensions, and there's some serious like spiritual, I would call it like the spiritual clout, where
Mhm.
there are people that like want to shame and not even less spiritual, but like the people who aren't doing it in that way.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not vegan, but that doesn't mean I'm not spiritual.
Mhm.
Sorry, I, shop at Gucci. That doesn't mean I'm not spiritual. So, I mean, I think everyone has, and again, I feel some people have that fear. Some spiritual people have that fear that rich people are assholes. So they're
Mhm.
actually blocking wealth from themselves. And
Absolutely.
they're keeping themselves in this like safe, protected zone. And they're actually like blocking out opportunity from themselves by, I think anything that you judge or anything that you fear blocks opportunities and blocks like certain things from you. So
Absolutely. Why can't we all just do it our own way?
I know, like, what is up with that?
And so many people wouldn't even know what chakras were or about
No.
visualization if you weren't saying it through your specific lens.
Exactly. And that's what I try. I remember I was being interviewed on this show once, and this lady was basically saying, like, she was basically saying, like, well, I don't know. I kind of think it's bullshit for someone to like be spiritual, but then all they care about is like money. And I was like, well, at the end of the day, like money is energy, and money, even, and those people themselves, that's just where they're at right now. If they use the spirituality that I'm giving them in the doses that I'm giving it to them, and they at first maybe just only want material things that are maybe not serving the world or serving the collective, that's just a start. Once they
Mhm.
start, they're going to go further and further and further. So it's like, I'd rather help them where they're at right now than leave them and be like, you're not good enough to be spiritual, or you're
Oh
not
my
ready to
gosh,
be
absolutely.
spiritual, like give them what they want, and then they'll do what they need and what we all need eventually.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm doing the same thing with food.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
transformation's literal. So
Yep,
you teach someone to manifest a designer handbag, which you do have a meditation for that.
I sure do.
You do. I teach someone to clear up their acne, right?
Yes,
The
yeah.
the transformation is so literal that they finally go, oh my gosh, I can trust myself. And that's really all we're seeking, is to learn how to trust ourselves and the higher power that is. You know, just lean
Exactly.
on
And then
it.
once they cure the acne, then they realize, oh, I can cure my relationships. I can cure
Mhm.
my relationship with myself. I can cure my my relationship with money, my relationship with success, my like everything. It's like you're just empowering people to do the best they can right now and realize that they can do better in all areas. So like what a gift.
Yes. Hell
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Virtual high five.
Woo.
So do you notice that you have many women coming in with the same blockages?
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, there are like a common three, throat chakra,
Mhm.
fear of being heard, and I feel like
Mhm.
that comes a lot from I feel like that comes a lot from just women and the way we've been treated
Mhm.
in the past. So, don't speak, don't be a healer, because then you're a witch and you're going to get killed. Like, don't vote.
Did you
Like,
read Rise, Sister Rise?
yeah, right. So it's like, yeah. So, the throat chakra is a big one. They're afraid. And it's also like in high school, don't say anything that the clique doesn't agree with. Otherwise you're out, those kinds of things too. So throat chakra is a really, really big one, but then also root chakra. So the people that haven't started their business, or the people that aren't even grounded in what they want to do, it usually starts at the root chakra. So that means standing in your power, feeling grounded in what your offering is. And usually that comes from not being clear. And when you're not clear, you can't move forward. So the root chakra is kind of funny because it's about grounding. When you think of grounding and you think of roots, you think of like standing still.
Yeah.
But it's also about forward momentum. So it's like being grounded, so grounded that you can move forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like they say in yoga, root to rise. Root to rise.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so the throat, the root, and then any other chakras that
okay, so the other thing I want to say was the sacral chakra, which is about self-worth.
Yeah.
And that just comes from, reading magazines and keeping up with the Kardashians, and huge Kardashians fan over here, just saying. But, it just comes from like comparing ourselves and not feeling good enough. And obviously that comes from childhood too. It comes from any like emotional discord that gets stuck in the sacral chakra. So that's definitely a huge one that I will say that's maybe not the main thing people come to me with, but everyone that comes to me with something else also has that.
Yeah. And the thing is, we're trying to move through all of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's a holistic package. Like you can't just come and clear one chakra and everything's right.
No.
And so do women need to start from the root and move up?
I do recommend it, but then if you're someone like me who like physically could feel something in the throat, or like there's something that that needs healing, start there. I think intuitively but I mean, starting at the root and working the way up, I think makes the most sense. Yeah.
How would someone even know? Like, do they just like sit with themselves, close their eyes, breathe through it?
Yeah, I believe that we're all intuitive, and so I think that one thing that I ask people to do or invite people to do that are kind of curious as to where their energy's blocked is just getting into like a deep breath and literally trying to breathe all the way into your toes, and you'll feel where it's stuck. Like it's either like it could be at your throat, it could be in your heart where you're like, it really isn't getting down here. I get pain right here. I know I have an overactive solar plexus because I'm like always like always going. So I get a little pain right here. And so then I know I need to work on the lower chakras to bring energy there. But yeah, you'll know where it feels blocked. And sometimes they're all blocked. And sometimes if you can't get it past the throat, then that means that the rest of them are going to be blocked too. So, I mean, it's definitely something where you want to work on all of them.
Okay. So can you tell us something we could do to start with the root chakra? Like what's one thing that a listener can go do now?
Yeah. So I'll give you a few things.
Okay.
Getting your toes in the grass, sitting your ass on the ground, cross-legged in the grass. Even if you live in a high rise, like sit cross-legged and just feeling into being supported. So like you can't feel grounded and protected and safe if you don't feel supported by your own intuition, the universe, other people, like all those things. So if you can just actually focus on the energy of being physically supported, it actually alleviates some stress and fear about not being emotionally supported or energetically supported. So just like focusing on being supported.
Love it. And that's easy. We can do that right now.
So easy. And even like when you're walking, keeping your attention on forward momentum, and even saying in your head, I'm always moving forward. I'm always moving forward. Everything's moving forward. My energy moves forward. And just like, it's literally, you get to create you with your thoughts. So
say that one sentence again. Sorry.
No, I know. I'm sorry. I don't know why my microphone.
Don't be sorry. I think it's Zoom because it did it to my interview earlier too.
Okay.
So forward momentum. And then you had a thought about that.
Yeah. So basically when you're creating the energy, like you're creating with your thoughts, you're creating the energy in your body and your chakras. So when you're, it's just like planting those little seeds of ideas and energy so that you're kind of not making room for the other fears that are saying, I'm stuck, I'm stagnant, I'm not moving. So it's like, maybe you're going to keep having those thoughts, but if you can like add in the better thoughts,
like give it more momentum.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You're slowly moving those ones out. Yeah.
So let's talk about divine partnerships. So you have a husband. Is your husband like chakra guy?
Yeah, chakra guy.
Or are you just like kind of inviting him into this universe and letting him live his own life? And
yeah, so he fully supports and loves what I do. And anytime I tell him about like any energetic stories or any things that happen, he's like, oh yeah, that's so cool. He's totally bought in. Does he have his own daily practice? Nope. Have I tried to get him to? Yep. Did it work? It made it worse. So you cannot force anyone to do anything. However, if you're on your own path, you're getting happier, you're seeing results, you're sharing your energy and you're sharing your stories, and that can inspire someone, then amazing. And my husband, so there's this app called The Secret to Money, and like the book, The Secret. They have this app, and you guys need to get it. So
I will link that too. The Secret to Money app. Okay.
Yeah. So basically you get this fake check deposited into your fake account every day, and you have to fake spend it. So it gets to and more it's every day, but you have to spend the one from the day before. And it gets to a point where you're getting like $100,000 a day, $200,000 a day. And you're like, it's like you have to work through like your own.
Wait, say that again. You have to work through.
Yeah. And you have to work through your own fears to be like, okay, I can spend this money. I can spend this $200,000. I can get a private jet. I can take my whole family to Dubai. And it like forces you to fake do these things. And so my husband, like, I just told him, I was like, oh, I'm doing this app. And he's like, he just wanted to download it and wanted to try it. And he started just like manifesting like crazy. I swear he's a more powerful manifestor than me. And it pisses me off.
Oh, my boyfriend too. But I think that
like
it's
not
because
fair.
they don't have the outside dialogue, right? They're just doing it for the fun right now.
Totally.
Yeah.
So he like got into cryptocurrency and started like this money.
Wait.
And it was
motherfucking Mike. Okay, wait. Are you back?
We're
back.
So.
Okay, so say he started with the cryptocurrency.
Yeah. So then he got into cryptocurrency and then started like manifesting all this money. And it's just funny because it's like never when he started this app did he think that there would be, it's kind of funny because he's been using this fake money in this app and now he's actually making real money with fake money in cryptocurrency. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. And
we're back.
And so there's that. And then even he just like, we were just jokingly like, let's manifest a trip to New York. Cause I've been watching Gossip Girl and Real Housewives of New York. And I'm like, he's like, let's manifest a trip. Let's just like see if something happens. He, I think, wins a Twitter contest to go to this event, this cryptocurrency event in New York where Snoop Dogg is performing. And I'm like, oh, no, we only got one ticket, but I'm still going. So I mean, he was not on the same path. I've inspired him to do it in his own way. When I tried to force him to do it my way, it didn't work. It caused tension. You just gotta, everyone's got their own journey and you just have to let it work out. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest realizations for us is taking radical responsibility, and we can't blame our partner and be like, yeah, but you don't buy in, so you're pulling me back.
Totally.
And 100%.
Been there. Yeah, I had a client who's like, is it a deal breaker? Like, I feel like I can't be as successful as I can be when he's not. I'm like, but how would it feel to believe that you could be that successful without the support, without that type of support? How would it feel to know no matter what, you're going to be majorly successful?
Yes, absolutely. So what's one of the craziest things that you've manifested?
Okay, so I'm going to bring it back to like one of my first manifesting situations. And this is the first time I started like doing visualization. And I was so obsessed with it. I was probably like OCD obsessed with it, like really into it. And it was when I hadn't started my business yet, but I would visualize myself working from a coffee shop with a brand new MacBook Pro with like this nice leather jacket and this scarf. And at the time, the scarf is like $120. I don't know if you guys have a Aritzia, but it's this Vancouver store. And that they have these scarves that are $120. And I was like, I would never spend that back then. Look at me now. And so I would visualize this like one scene. And like I slowly manifested every piece. Like my computer broke down and then I got a new client. I got a raise at work or whatever to like afford the laptop. And then slowly I got all the pieces except the scarf. And one random night I was out with friends for a birthday party and we literally got it from the table and my friend was grabbing all of our coats and she handed me a coat and a scarf. And I was like, oh, that's not my scarf. And she's like, oh, and we're like, oh, it was no one. Oh, it must have just like been in the booth. So I was like, oh, and it was the scarf. And I was like, oh, weird. And I was like, okay, well, I'll bring it to the waitress. And she was like, oh, well, you have to bring it to the front. Like she was like holding like these trays and she was like being kind of a snob about it and annoyed and whatever. I was like, okay. So I go to the front and there's like no one there. And then I see like these other people that work there and I'm trying to give it to them. They're like, oh, you just have to wait. You just have to wait till this person's back. And I'm like, no, you know what? I'm taking the scarf.
Oh my goodness.
It's funny because like any Canadian girls that know Aritzia, they know that this scarf is made in like 50 different colors and patterns, and it was the exact one.
Wow.
And it was like when I was like, oh my goodness. Like, so then it just goes to show you that things can happen in random ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I thought I was going to, make the money, go to the store, buy the scarf, but that's not how it happened.
Yep. Did it like smell
always,
like someone or was it just like a...
No, I dry cleaned it and it was like totally, it was like brand new.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Love it.
Yeah,
amazing.
It was so crazy. So, I mean, not my best moment of stealing a scarf from a restaurant, but it was like one of the first things where I was like, oh my gosh, like this is just wild. It was in my coat. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. No, I don't think you stole it. I think it just was,
it was
placed there. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, Amber-Lee, are you ready for the jar of walls?
I am ready.
So my previous guest told me that this is the jar of boring. I was like, but she added, she's a comedian. She's a freaking nut. So she added some. Let's see here. All right. So, okay, this one's ridiculous. If you, for $15 million, so you'd be given $15 million, but for the rest of your life, you'd have to commit to going out in your neighborhood topless for a full hour each week. Would you do it?
Yeah?
Yeah, I know. Me too. Yeah, I know. Okay, done. Easy. Okay. What is your most embarrassing story of this year?
Oh, gosh. I feel like I have so many.
You have so many.
Okay, the first one that comes to mind, it was actually more of like a lesson I needed to learn, and it was like not true. So this random person started like cyber stalking me and commenting on all my stuff, saying that I lit someone's hair on fire in school. I was like, I did not do that. And it was just embarrassing because like she was like, I would delete it, I would block, then she would do it from somewhere else. And like, it's like my audience, I'm very like connected to my audience and like very like, that was just very embarrassing for me.
Yeah. Did she think you were someone else or we just don't even know?
I think she was just like some like internet troll. I don't know.
It's probably someone in Russia.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. Okay. That's embarrassing. But she just went away?
She went, yeah, I like just kept blocking, deleting.
Good. Okay, good. All right. We'll do one more. So let's see. What's an embarrassing habit that you have that no one knows about?
Oh my God. Embarrassing habit. I want to say, one second. Sorry.
No, don't worry.
Sorry. Okay. Okay. Here's my new embarrassing moment. My apartment, the apartment flooded next door, and they've been coming into my place like nonstop, and like they said I'm gonna come at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So they didn't come at 9 a.m. So they've been banging on my door since we started. And I'm just like, no, out of principle, no, I will not answer the door. They just walked in.
No. Oh my gosh.
And I was like, don't you dare. It's like, you need to go.
Yeah, I was reading your lips like, what did she say?
No, you need to go. You need to come back.
All right. Well, oops. Nobody
Okay,
cares.
sorry.
Don't worry.
So what was that? What was this one? What was
Oh,
this
an embarrassing habit you have.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, oh my gosh. Okay. I literally, okay, I don't know how embarrassing this is or more of like a
It could be
problem,
quirky.
but when I drink wine, like to me, a serving is a bottle. Like there's no one wine. I will have a bottle. Like you might as well bring it to me with a straw. Like,
I love that about you.
yeah.
I do love that about you. So do you feel like there's any correlation? Like, do you have to do like extra recuperation after drinking? Because in the spirituality world, people are like, no alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, what do you feel in your body?
Totally. It's like, but okay, for me, sometimes I'll wake up with like hangover anxiety, but then it like forces me to like look at that. I feel like my biggest accomplishment as a spiritual person is overcoming that anxiety, because it makes you look at your, like when you have like that kind of anxiety where you're like, why did I spend that? Or why did I do that? Or why did I say that? Or why? It's like, it actually forces you to really deep dive and like look at those things. And like, I don't know, it's just kind of gone now. And I just remember there was this moment, I hosted an event for my clients, like a retreat. I was hosting a retreat, ended up going out with my clients until 4 a.m. when I had to like host a retreat the next day. We had so much fun, but it was like, normally I would wake up and be like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Why did I do that? But then I was just like, honestly, like, this was an experience that no one's gonna like ever forget. Everyone had so much fun, and I'm not trying to be above anyone. And it was like, this was kind of like, for me, it was like a very like grounding thing. So I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like some of my best lessons have come from drinking and then being hungover in the morning. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's all about, you've given yourself permission to be unapologetically yourself, and
Exactly.
you're showing other people that.
Exactly. Yes.
I love it.
Drink all the wine, guys. You heard it here first.
Yep, drink all the wine. Actually, from your podcast, you were going to do an experiment to see if you just believed.
Yes, and I swear it's working. I swear it's working.
Okay.
And I'm listening to Abraham Hicks too, like about like just being like, oh my God, my body can like digest everything, and like my body is so smart, and like I have my little like cellulite ritual now where I have this like amazing like lotion that I have, and I just like rub it on my body, and I'm like, every day I'm smoother. Every day I'm smoother. Actually, I will tell you, ever since I started doing this, because you always say like whatever you think is going to work will work.
Yeah.
So I was listening to Abraham Hicks, and she said, ask for the thing that you think is going to work. If you don't know what it is, ask for it. So I asked for it. Literally the next day, I got contacted by this company that does like facials and like really amazing services. Like all the celebrities go there in Vancouver, and she wanted to collaborate with me, and she's like, yeah, go pick a service. And they do this like laser lipo where like you lose like inches, and I was like, okay, this is my thing. This is
oh my gosh. And for free?
Yeah, I'm just doing like trades with her. Like I'm doing some stuff for her, and she's giving me the body effects.
Hell yes. Okay, I did something like that in New York. And I was in my 3rd session.
Yeah.
And this was like when I was deep in my eating disorder. And not to say that has anything to do with you, but like I was not in a place of receiving. Like I was just like, maybe this thing will work because nothing else is.
Yeah.
And after paying hundreds of dollars, and I was in the 3rd session of it, and it was working. I felt like it was working.
Yeah.
I got a call from my agent saying that I booked this like fitness infomercial, and now I had 1 month to gain as much weight as I possibly could.
Yeah.
I literally in that one turned into just like I didn't look like I changed, but like every muscle just like went and turned to jelly, and I just was like a walking bag of flab.
Oh my gosh.
It felt so horrible. Yes. So I've tried that, and it does work, but does not work if you then try to gain a ton of weight on top of it.
Got it. Good to know. I probably will.
Okay, so now this is for just our behind the scene Patreon peeps.
Yeah.
Can you teach us? You got something in your pocket that you want to teach us?
Okay, so my favorite meditation that literally changed my life. So after I cleared the throat chakra, the next thing I needed to clear was my sacral chakra. So what I want you to do, this meditation, and if you literally do this every day for even like 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to see huge shifts in your self-worth and like releasing old stories and like old patterns and any like trauma or anything that's like sticking around with you. So imagine yourself like standing in the ocean, and you have these tiny waves like crashing into your sacral chakra, which is like right below your belly button. And you know how the waves like kind of go in and then they pull out. So imagine like the wave like hitting the belly button and then pulling the energy out. And as you do that, like you can visualize even if you want to see what's leaving, like if you want to see some like brown gunk or some like whatever, some light like leaving you and like washing away and like never coming back, like going into the ocean, like transmuting into something else. And just hold on to that and do that until you literally feel empty inside. Like I always explain it as like when you're swimming and you feel hungry and it's like you know that like feeling?
Yes.
If you do this for long enough, you will feel that. And then that is like releasing anything from the past. And then what you do is you want to like fill up with the good. So you breathe into your sacral chakra and imagine this like orange light that is just like filling up that area. And it's just like warmth and like acceptance and like love for yourself. I swear that was what totally changed. And I do have like a meditation that I've recorded, and it's part of my meditation bundle that I sell, and it's fine. But when I I didn't have an audio to listen to. I just would picture that.
Wow.
And that was
how long would that be? Or just until you were empty?
Like 5 to 10 minutes, like maybe 15, 20 for the first couple times. And don't be like, you can make yourself feel that empty feeling. Don't be like, I don't feel the empty, like, but I want to stop. Like you can be like, you can say, okay, I want to feel that empty feeling now. I want to feel like everything's gone, and like just feel it, just like bring that empty feeling in and then fill up with the warm light, the orange light.
Oh man, I love it. I actually like got like my stomach dropped out when you were explaining it, and I felt the empty feeling right away. Ooh, I'm going to do that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome. Yes.
Okay, before you go, you have to add a prompt to a question that you want me to ask a future guest, and then I just like get to take a piece of you.
Oh, that's so fun. Okay. My mind's going like in the gutter for some reason.
Oh, Angie Lee, her question is, which I took it out because I'm like, I don't think I'm brave enough to ask this. Her question was, if you're wearing white pants, would you rather start your period or poop your pants? Like,
I wanted to say, what's the weirdest place you've had sex?
I almost added that today. Okay, we're adding it. I love it.
My mind always goes to the gutter.
That's perfect. Dude, we need to be having more healthy sex.
Yes.
Happier sex.
So true.
Yes.
This was like a journey. This was like one of the journeys I'm on this year, is like learning more about like soulful sex and like
me too.
The spiritual side. So I love that. New journey. Maybe.
And I know it's so deeply correlated to our second chakra, and like when the sex is amazing, my creativity is like
exactly 100%.
Yeah.
And the sacral chakra is your feminine power too. So
Yep.
like femininity and that kind of like, I don't know, that like sultry side of you. So
yes. Yeah. I've been prescribing orgasms out to my clients, and I'm like, you don't even need anybody else. You got hands, go get a vibrator.
Go do it.
3 orgasms a week at a minimum.
Exactly. And that's how you tap into that feminine.
Wow. We didn't know we were going there today. I love it.
Going there.
Okay. How can we find you?
So so the podcast,
yes,
radio. I'm on iTunes. I'm supposed to be on Spotify, but for some reason I'm not.
It's a lapse. I thought it wasn't, and then just one day it was.
Oh, okay. I think they said like they're not taking any. I don't know. Anyways, we'll see.
Oh, I snuck in. Okay.
iTunes for sure. SoundCloud for sure.
I will link all of those.
Yes. And then Instagram is Chakra Girl Co. And I'm always doing fun stories and like sharing my morning ritual and my dog and fun stuff. So check that out. And then on my website is thechakragirlco.com. So you can find like services, more about me, and how to contact me.
And you have meditations to purchase, lots of fun stuff.
Yeah, so my meditation bundle. So these are the 7 meditations. Actually, there's 8 of them that these are what I started doing in my head when I first started my journey, because I would like read these different meditations or listen to these different meditations, and I would pull pieces from them that I liked. And then I was just like, I'm just going to record them the way I want them. And so that's what I'm offering, and I'm going to give you guys $10 off. So it's a regular $37. I'll give it to you guys for $27.
Amazing.
Just use the coupon code podcast. It's kind of funny. You have to like enter your name and stuff first, but the coupon code thing is on the checkout screen, so sometimes people get confused. So
got it.
It's there though. Just
okay. I will link all of that stuff in the bio for easy access for all the peeps listening.
Yay!
And thank you so much for being yourself.
Thank you for having me. This was so great. I just feel like we've got good, I don't know, juju between
We do have great juju. Thank you. Mwah.